It may look like a park with its winding paths and long boardwalks. It might act like a park with its picnic shelters and fire pits. But what is going on here is so much more than picture-perfect views, diverse wildlife, and natural beauty.
This is a stormwater treatment area. Typically, they're designed to be about 18 inches to 2 feet deep.
Greg Nolte, project manager for the Ecosystems Restoration and Management Division for Martin County, recently gave a tour of the Tropical Farm Stormwater Treatment Area, located on the shores of the South Fork of the St. Lucie River.
An S.T.A. is a stormwater quality treatment area, and it is designed to allow stormwater to flow through it at a very slow rate, and the vegetation, it's typically planted with vegetation, both emergent and submergent plants, and that plant life absorbs the nutrients as the water flows through it.
This Stormwater Treatment Area, or S.T.A. as it's called, sits on 17 acres inside Phipps Park and is designed to capture and clean stormwater from the neighborhood before it makes its way to the estuary.
The watershed that drains and contributes to this project is 468 acres. So we're capturing water off of 468 acres, and we're trying to capture, and we have captured, that first inch of runoff. And like I said before, that first inch is the most important because it has all the nutrients, it has all the pollutants in it.
Phosphorus and nitrogen are the primary nutrients that in excessive amounts can pollute our waterways. The nutrients are produced by a variety of ways, including fertilizer and horse and cow waste. If too much of these elements make their way into the rivers and estuaries, it can have a negative impact on the quality of the water.
In the early years of development, the idea was to drain the land as quickly as possible and get that runoff from the land into the river and just drain it. And through the years, we've found that that's not necessarily the best thing for water quality. And to clean the water, you need to capture it, you need to hold it, you need to clean it, and then discharge it at a slower, more natural rate to the estuary.
The water in the neighborhood actually wants to flow towards Roebuck Creek, but with a specialized pipe system and control structures installed, rain runoff is fed back into the project where it can be cleaned. Water enters the project behind me over here in the deep water basin. It's about 8 feet deep of water that helps collect a lot of the sediment that comes in from the neighborhood. The water then flows very slowly under this footbridge over here to the stormwater treatment area. Here the water is about a foot deep and has a bunch of plants that filter out the nutrients. This process happens a couple more times as the water snakes around over here till it exits at Roebuck Creek. That whole process to get water from over here to over here takes about 40 days.
And we've seen 54% removal rates for nitrogen, which is excellent. Typically anything over 40% is very good. We're at 54. For total phosphorus, anything over 60 to 80% is considered very good. We've seen in excess of 90% removal in phosphorus in this particular project.
So it's working, but Greg says there is more to do. Residents may not realize it, but they too are contributing to the pollution. Over-fertilizing can cause elevated levels of nitrogen in the water table. Also, decaying plant and grass clippings need to be disposed of properly.
Landscape trimmings that are piled up in the swale here, and the water wants to drain, stormwater wants to drain here, the vegetation's sitting in water.
He suggests homeowners put their clippings on higher ground away from swales and drainage.
That material sits there for 2 or 3 days, it's wet and it starts decaying, and all those nitrogen and phosphorus is released from that material and gets right into the drainage system.
There are a total of 26 STAs in Martin County that function much like tropical farms, capturing water and naturally filtering it. But to meet certain water quality targets by 2028 set forth by the state and federal government, Martin County has also explored new technologies to address water quality problems in an efficient way.
The water from Bessey Creek is coming from a over 2,600 acre watershed that's mostly equestrian community out here.
Diane Hughes, Senior Ecosystem Specialist for Martin County, shows the new alternative technology project up and running at Bessey Creek.
The water is being pulled in from the pump station down Boat Ramp Road, coming in through this facility right here. And this is where it comes in contact with aluminum sulfate that precipitates out the phosphorus and nitrogen in the water.
The Bessey Creek Hybrid Wetland Treatment Technology Area, completed in April of 2015 and funded in part by a grant from the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, is also an STA. but uses an added chemical treatment component that achieves more of a reduction in nutrients and requires a smaller land footprint, reducing costs for land acquisition.
This is all the flocculant. That's the aluminum sulfate is binding with the phosphorus and the nitrogen and then taking it out of the water column, making the water cleaner.
The flocculant, which will dry to a substance like kitty litter, can then be disposed of, thus removing most of the nitrogen and phosphorus from the water supply. Anything remaining will be filtered out naturally through the rest of the STA.
With traditional wetland treatment systems, we're not going to be able to hit our target. With these combined chemical treatment with natural native wetland treatment systems, we're getting closer and closer to meeting our target for 2028 for our water quality treatment goals that we need to meet.
Martin County has already met its first 5-year goal of the 2028 plan and is not done with these projects. Another hybrid wetland treatment technology area is currently in construction at Danforth Creek.
These two creeks are two of our most polluted water bodies in Martin County. So to have these facilities on these two creeks before the water enters the St. Lucie River and estuary helps us meet those water quality targets that we're trying to hit.